Our daughter recently shared that her friend at school will be moving away this summer. The girl's dad got a different job in a new city out of state, and the girl and her mom will move there once the school year is ended to join him. Our daughter is sad to lose this new friend, and her friend is afraid to leave the only home she's ever known. This family will uproot and move somewhere they've never lived before and start over again from scratch. It can be a terrifying possibility to leave what we know and move towards what we don't know. Our theme for these Kairos moments, these Kairos Lenten videos, have us focused on the topic of home, what it means to have a home, what it means to seek a home, to make and feel and be at home. Home is important to us. It's a place where we hide and rest, where we love and learn, where we laugh and cry. But a home is more than four walls. A true home is in community, a place where we belong. When God delivered the Hebrews out of slavery in Egypt, it was to bring them to a land of promise and security, where God would dwell in their midst. In Exodus, the Lord gives Moses a command to collect an offering of numerous items that they might construct a movable sanctuary, a mobile house, if you will, for God. Exodus 25:8 reads, "And have them make me a sanctuary, so that I may dwell among them." That term we translate as dwell comes from a Hebrew word that describes the majestic presence or manifestation of God, which has descended to dwell with God's people. No more should God be considered some distant deity, for God is physically making God's home among mortals. Where the people go, God will go. What God is describing in Exodus is the sanctuary tent, the tabernacle, an actual massive physical tent and courtyard that they could move with them from place to place over the coming years. The tabernacle was the dwelling place for God's Spirit. It was the traveling house of God. What a gift this was to these wilderness people. These people who had left the only home they'd ever known, as dangerous as it was for them, to wander toward a place they could only imagine. In these years of wandering, they had no home. They had no real idea of what kind of home awaited them. The tabernacle represented something special and holy. It was, in some way, a symbol of home for them. It was a physical reminder of God's presence and a promise that God was in their midst, no matter where they were. Generations later in 2 Samuel, David felt it time to give the Lord a better home and build a temple. It sounded like a good plan. The only problem was that the Lord had a different agenda. God spoke to the prophet Nathan and reminded him that the dwelling place had always been a tent, which was very mobile. The people could move the tabernacle and be continually reassured of God's presence with them wherever they were. In the New Testament, John describes Jesus' birth as, to use the Message translation, the Word became flesh and moved into the neighborhood. The Greek word John chooses literally means to tent, to tabernacle. Finally, in Jesus, God has come to tent, to dwell with us. From the beginning, God has reminded us again and again that God chooses to make God's home with us. There is nowhere we can flee from God's Spirit. There is nowhere God's hand does not hold us fast. On this, your Lenten journey, may you be reminded of this promise. God is with us. No matter where you go, no matter where you move, where and with whom you choose to make your home, God's tent, God's presence dwells with you